All right. So that's just the intro part. So I'm going through a Marshall and then I'm going through an overdrive pedal, like we talked about, very similar to Fast Eddie Clarke sound. So we're going to talk about Larry Wallis, right? So Larry Wallis. So this song On Parole is actually a Larry Wallis song. So this is the first album that they did even before Eddie Clarke joined. So there's like three different kinds of, big eras of Motorhead. The first one was even before Eddie and Filthy joined. So from that lineup, it was basically Larry Wallis, Lemmy, and then Lucas Fox. So Lucas Fox is still alive. So I think I'm connected to him on Instagram, or I follow him on Instagram. So from that lineup. So Lemmy left Hawkwind, took the song Motorhead, took the song Lost Johnny, and then, which was on the album with Fast Eddie Clarke. So this On Parole album, I think it's 76, and then it got shelved. So, or it was recorded by On Parole, and then it got shelved, and then it got released later. I'm not sure about the exact dates. And then, so the tale goes that Fast Eddie Clarke came in, and then Larry Wallis, he never showed up to practice because he didn't want to have two guitar players. So Larry Wallis, he's from this band called Pink Fairies. So there's a definite kind of connection between Wallis and Eddie Clarke, because remember, all these songs were already there. And Eddie Clarke, I'll get to this in a later video, but actually kind of sounds, the solos kind of sounds inspired from Wallis. So a lot of these kind of one note kind of, that's a bad example, but a lot of that, I hear a lot of Wallis and Eddie. Let's just put it that way. So a lot of times what happens is when you have a guitar player that's replacing another guitar player, he has to sort of take off from where the first guitar player left off. So some of the stuff is going to sort of go through, just like Kirk Hammett, playing basically solos from David Mustaine, stuff like that. So I hear a little bit of Wallis from Eddie Clarke. So if you want to know where Eddie Clarke is techniques come from, right? I think we talked about this already, but I forgot to mention about Wallis. But it's like Hendrix, Clapton, but also a little bit of Wallis because he's playing the songs that Wallis played. Anyway, so definitely kind of I think what happened is that Eddie Clarke took it to the next level, and then he was like, reason why he's called Fast Eddie Clarke, because he could just like rip through. And then he took some, he took a little bit from Wallis, and then he, got a lot from like traditional blues, and he was able to basically, rip through it, right? So Larry Wallis, he passed away, I think 2-3 years ago. Larry Wallis from Pink Fairies already had the song On Parole. So you can hear Larry Wallis' version of On Parole that Motorhead is not on. It's on YouTube, so you can listen to it. So he sings it a lot higher. So that's the other thing. This guitar, I'm tuned to half step. And, I think they usually tune to full step. E tuning, right? So if you have this album, What's Wordsworth? I have like 5 copies of this album. Seriously. I have this, which is the vinyl version. I have the vinyl picture disc. I have the CD, and probably like, 2 other, compilation versions of this, or like a different format. So I literally have probably 4 versions of this, this live album. But on this album, On Parole is on here. When they play it live, they sometimes play it basically half step, right? So in half step, the 5th fret, we're just going to call it A. Okay? Because I don't want to be like A flat, and then, you know what I'm saying? So, and then it'll goof everything up. So when I say A, it's half step 5th fret. And when I say E, it's, open string, right? So we're going to use that kind of format. So on this album, I think this was a great time, because even though Larry Wallis isn't in the band, and here's, Eddie, Filthy, and Lemmy, Larry Wallis still shows up to the show. So there's a dialogue in here before they play On Parole. Lemmy goes, I believe Larry Wallis is here. Yeah, I believe he is. This is one of his numbers that I pinched. It's called On Parole. It's an A. So It's an A. That's what he's saying. So anyway, I guess pinched means stolen. Right now we have to get into all this British lingo. You Brits, you guys are crazy. You know, the thing with Indian people is that since Britain colonized India, right, they use a lot of the same language still. So all these words, right, the Indian people use it. So when you go to India, you'll hear those phrases. Same thing. They use a lot of the, not like the slang, but, they'll use stuff like, some of the things. Anyway, so that's when he introduces and says, I pinched this from Larry Wallis. So back to my point of Larry Wallis actually released the song on his own. So you can check that out. It's a version where Motorhead doesn't play. It's one of his songs that he brought into this band. All right. So anyway, that's why the song is different. So for a Motorhead song, this is quite different. This is more complicated than a normal Motorhead song. So what would have happened if Wallis stayed with Motorhead? I don't know. He basically just left when Eddie left, and he didn't show up to practice because, like I said, he didn't want two guitar players or something like that. The story goes something like that. But sounds like they're pretty serious. They played shows. They played. They put out an album. Anyway, so in this, what we're going to say, like I said, half step, and then so the string number, we're going to go this way. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So when I say third fret, sixth string, it's going to be like this. Right? Third fret, first string. Right? I hope that's the nomenclature they use. So anyway, just so that when we get into it. So this is pretty, like I said, for Motorhead, this is pretty complicated. So here we go. So the first part's like this. Okay, so there's a solo on front. So I'm not going to play the solos, but so there's like an introduction solo. So this is going to go like this: A, F, E, D, E, F, G, A, and then it kind of breaks it down. Go up a second. Let me do it again. Okay, so that's the beginning of it, and then then you have this part here. So what I'm doing is I'm on the third string, and then 4, 5, 6. Then it goes. So 5 and 5 on the first two strings. So that's the phrase, I think. So that's it. So what delineates that here is the A chord, right? And the D chord. So he's going to start singing like this, right? I like a laugh, I like a joke. It's not my fault, my sense of humor's broke. Night's my friend and it ain't yours. Even the odds and even the scores, right? So he's doing this, the guitar is doing this. So it's kind of hard to sing and play that. And then for the D part, remember, this is the chord that delineates that melody. A and then D. Then we go up here. Just move that shape over here. But I don't want to go all the way over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play those exact same notes here, which is going to be on the fourth string. Right, 3 and 4, and then 2 and 3. So 2 on the third string, 3 on the second string. So I know it's kind of, but all I did is I just took that pattern, went over here because this is the D position. Remember, this is the A position. So those notes, the root chord there is an A. So and then, like I said, we moved to D, just like I said when I sang it. So when we moved to D, this is the D position. And then I said, right? And then we said, oh, wait, I don't want to play it up here because I don't want to do this and this. So I'm just going to play that here. So so I just transcribed it to here, which is going to be 3, 4 on the fourth string. And then 2 on the third string, 3 on the second string. Right? So if you try to sing over it, nobody does. But maybe Wallis does in his own band. But if you try to sing over it, it's going to be like this. I could laugh, I like a joke. It's not my fault, my sense of humor's broke. That's my friend, and it ain't yours. Even the odds and even the scores. So anyway, but when I sing it, so you need another guitar player. Lemmy does it because Lemmy is just playing the chord. Right? So, and then after that, we go to this. So so I'm not going to play I showed you how to play that melody, which is hard to basically play that melody and sing. I think Wallis can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a chord as if Lemmy's playing, okay? As we go into the next part. So like I said, for a Motorhead song, this is pretty complicated, especially from that era where Motorhead songs were usually basically like 2 or 3 riffs and that's it. So this arrangement is pretty crazy. You know, I like a laugh, I like a joke. It's not my fault, my sense of humor's broke. Nice, my friend, and it ain't yours. Even the odds and even the scores. It's good to be me again. Right? So this is actually pretty high for Lemmy. That's why I think he went to half step. So even though we think Lemmy is like, okay, you know, he's kind of a gruff singer, he actually gets up there. So he can kind of get up there. So this right here is like this. And I'm back on the streets again. So that's going to be A, C, B, and then D. So let me just tell you that. A, C, B, C, D, D. And I'm back on my feet again. I'm on parole. Right? Then it goes to that part. So that part is basically going to be the same thing as the beginning part. So I'm raising my sights again. I'm claiming my rights again. I'm on parole. I'm on parole. I'm on parole. I'm on parole. Yeah, I'm on parole. Right? So that part we talked about that in the beginning, right? So and then he just keeps repeating that, and I think that's pretty much the song. And then there's this one other part here which goes, you know, when I read the lyrics, it says "Stop me before I kill myself," but I always hear him say, you know, "Someday I'm gonna kill myself." You know, someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. So it's like A, F, and then D. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck that shit, I'll kill somebody else. So someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck that shit, I'll kill somebody else. Then it goes into a solo. That's pretty much all the parts. So anyway, I hope you like this. Now just play through it once. Let me get the lyrics up here, and then maybe I'll do like one bit here. But it's a lot of lyrics. So On Parole, Motorhead lyrics. If I can actually do this. And then that's pretty much it. Then there's a solo, all right? So there's a solo over this. Sorry. They locked me out, put me away. They said never gonna go, forever on a day. I didn't know what was going on. I was looking for having some fun. Forget the reason, that's what I'm told. Cause you better get it in before you get old. They thought they had me for keeps. But they don't know that this boy never sleeps. Cause I'm back on my feet again. I'm back on the streets again. I'm on parole. On parole. On parole. On parole. I'm on parole. I like a laugh, I like a joke. It's not my fault, my sense of humor's broke. I try to tell them I was sick. They said they think it was some kind of trick. Well, alright, I've often good. If they had listened to me just like they should, I wouldn't have this loaded gun. Looking for a citizen just to kill for fun. I'm good to be free again. It's good to be me again. I'm on parole. On parole. On parole. On parole. Yeah, I'm on parole. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck that shit, I'll kill somebody else. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck that shit, I'll kill somebody else. I think that's the wrong part. Sorry. You better watch out, you never know who's gonna be the next to go. Night's my friend and it ain't yours. Fixes the odds and evens the scores. Just turn around, I won't go wrong. When he hits the ground, I'll be long gone. They won't suspect me, not a soul. Well, 'cause I'm a good boy, I'm on parole. I'm raising my sights again. I'm claiming my rights again. I'm on parole. On parole. On parole. On parole. Yeah, I'm on parole. On parole. On parole. On parole. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Someday I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck that shit, I'll kill somebody else. I guess another soul. And then the ending part, I forgot to figure that out before I came on. So you guys have fun with that. I think it's something like this. There's probably one more chord in there. Anyway, guys, that is On Parole. Okay. Sorry if I fucked that up a little bit here and there. Great song. And like I said, it's pretty challenging for Lemmy, I think, because it's kind of high. Wallis sings it even higher. So he sings in an E and he actually sings it higher. So for a Motorhead song, it's pretty complicated. And I think this is about basically someone who's on parole. So anyway, cool lyrics, cool everything. You know, that era of Motorhead is really cool.